Hey guys, today we're gonna make our own puzzle. Now, all we need for this is a piece of paper, crayons, pencil or pen. You might need a ruler and some scissors. Now, to start, what we're gonna do is get your pen or pencil. I'm gonna use a pen. And we're just gonna draw one long continuous line, just big scribbles all over the paper. And then at some point, just go off the paper. Pretty easy. Then choose some crayons and you're gonna color inside of these lines. Now you see this shape that the line made right there, it's connected here. So I'm gonna color in this section with this turquoise blue. You can press hard, you can color softly, whatever you wanna do. Then since I already have this crayon out, I'm gonna go ahead and move to a different section. I'm gonna try not to color this section that I'm pointing at the same color as this section since they're touching. They're right next to each other. I wanna have different colors touching one another. So I might color this section blue. Then maybe over here. Now you see that I'm coloring on the inside border of these shapes. That just helps me better color inside of the lines, because if you don't, sometimes it's easy to scribble outside of that shape, and we don't want that. So I'll do one more with this color, maybe a tiny one right there. Now you can do more if you want, but I'm just gonna move right on to a different color. I might use an orange and color this section orange. I'm not gonna color this whole entire thing for the video because that would just be a really long video. It doesn't take that long to do this project, but you know, you don't wanna just watch me color, you'd rather color yourself, I'm sure. So, do this one. Again, I'm coloring on the inside border. Careful not to color outside of the lines. Then I'll choose another color. Make sure it's colored in all the way. It just looks better when you color in all the way, as opposed to, I'll show you, if I use a green and I don't color in all the way, and I just sort of color it like this, see, that doesn't really look as good. It's not as satisfying to look at. So I'm gonna really take my time and try to color all the white spots inside of this shape. Okay, now look, I haven't been pressing all that hard. Watch what happens when I do press hard. When I press really hard, I try to color in all the way. You gotta be really careful when you're pressing really hard like this. It's easy to lose your control. When you press really hard, it looks a lot better. It does take a little bit more time and concentration, but I think if you do that, you'll be really happy with the results. All right, so you get that. You can use all the colors that you want to color in any part of this thing at all. Again, being careful not to color outside the lines. If you do, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just for fun. A lot of us on our quarantine for the coronavirus, I'm sure, have been making puzzles, putting them together, jigsaw puzzles. So I thought it might be fun to make our own puzzle. So I thought this was a fun, easy way to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna color a couple more and then I'm gonna skip ahead and we'll continue on the next step once it's all colored in. If you press down really hard on the outside, now look, my crayon's getting a little dull. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it to this side because that's a sharp edge. Now I'm gonna be careful about it. Since it's not a point, it's more difficult to control. But if you're really careful with it, and use that sharp edge, it makes a nice sharp line. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm trying to get a nice sharp line and not color outside of the lines. So look, if you press really hard on the outside, and then once you got that finished and it's all dark, then look, I switched it around because the middle, it's okay. You can color with a dull crayon. If you do it really light on the inside, and that ends up looking really neat when it's all finished. As you can see, I colored all of the spaces in, but I didn't color the background. That is up to you. You can color the background if you want. I just chose not to. The next step is cutting it up. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn it to the back. I'm gonna get a pencil and I'm gonna flip it to the back. Now, if you have a ruler handy, you can use that to draw your lines, but you don't need it. It's up to you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna draw lines this way and lines this way. Okay, so vertical lines and horizontal lines. Now, this is just the simpler way to make your puzzle. You don't have to draw straight lines if you don't want to, but we're gonna draw these lines so we can cut them out. So I'm gonna start drawing my lines. Now, you don't have to measure or anything. They can be different sizes. That's up to you. It's your puzzle. I am going to just start drawing some vertical lines now. I'm gonna move it over a little bit and move it over again. I'm gonna try to get them about the same size, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. If you want a really hard puzzle, make smaller shapes, or make more lines. So I'd make lines in between, but I don't want it to be all that hard. And it'd also be a lot to keep up with. And the paper that you're using is probably pretty thin, so you gotta be careful because you don't want it to crumple or wrinkle. Now, I've done the vertical lines, now I'm gonna do some horizontal lines. I do right here. Now you see that one wasn't quite straight, but that's okay. It's just for fun. Okay, now, if you count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical lines and 1, 2, 3 horizontal lines. I'm gonna get my scissors out and I'm gonna cut along those lines. Now I'm gonna show you a trick. We just stack these together. Stack them up like this, all in one stack. Then you can just cut through all of them, depending on how strong your scissors are. Now we've got a jumbled mess. And you just try to put it together. And really, you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be this scribble color, okay? I mean, you can draw whatever you want and cut it up like this and make it your own puzzle. So, maybe I should have colored the background. So maybe you should color the background when you do yours. It's up to you. All right, guys, it was fun. See you next time.